Hi, I'm Steve Ritson at Abbott Road Studios in Sedona, Arizona. I'm firing a raku kiln. That's what you hear in the background, the blower on my burner. Just wanted to show you a little bit about what I'm doing, give you a feel for the things I'm firing and the technique I'm using. This is my raku kiln. It's gas-fired, natural gas from my house. I'm going to move my work into these covered cans. I'm using a mix of shredded newspaper, some grass clippings, and shaved wood. I'm using a pyrometer and a cone, and I'm currently at about 1750 degrees, and that's about as high as the kiln's got. It's stayed pretty much pegged at 1750. This is the first time I've used a pyrometer and the first time I've used a cone. I've always just timed it. I have a burner that I took the orifice out of, and I'm using a blower, which I have underneath here. I have it covered to keep the sound down. It's pretty noisy in the neighborhood. I'm using some simple glazes. I'm using a white crackle glaze that I make, very simple, and I'm using a bronze, which is just a mix of white crackle and some simple oxides. So the kiln's been firing for about 45 minutes at this point. I'm going to shut the camera off and take a look at the cone. I'm trying to reach cone 04, which is roughly 1922 to 1940 degrees Fahrenheit. These are some of the pieces that I'm firing today in the kiln. They're white stoneware. They mature at cone 5, and I do them. I bisque them in the electric kiln. Here I use the large Scott and stacked them in there. So these are just a mix of hand-built forms. I work over plaster form. Some of these smaller ones I just built by hand. Alright, this kiln's been firing for over an hour now, and it's just pegged at 1750 and not moving. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some redesign on my kiln. I may try to redesign my vent, which is underneath that piece of kiln shelf. I don't know if I'm leaking too much heat. Another possibility is I'm blowing too much cold air in with the burner. It's kind of a mystery, but you know, more to be revealed. I'm going to turn the camera off and take a look at what happens here and see if that cone is turned over. Okay. Since this is a fiber blanket kiln, I find it really important to wear a mask. I find the fiber really bothers me. I can feel it immediately. So I'm going to shut the kiln down, shut the blower down, pull the work out, and we're just going to find out what happens here. Don't want any loose clothing. When you open the door of that kiln now at almost 2,000 degrees, I really should be wearing long pants and boots, but you know, it's also been over 100 degrees Fahrenheit here today in Arizona, so one of those days I'm not that interested in getting overdressed. Alright, here we go. So the first thing I can see is that the cone cone did not turn over. But the glaze looks molten, you know, it's wet. So this glaze is maybe melting at a lower temperature. Also tried a piece of porcelain there. I'm going to move these cans so they don't smoke out my neighbors so bad. This is the inside of the kiln. You can actually see the cone laying there. Yeah, it definitely didn't tip. But it is central. I'm basically just I use some bone hammy, which is just a, I don't know, borax probably or something. And clean them up. If you're familiar with this part of the process, well, just skip it. Actually, I've been having trouble getting a really nice white crackle glaze. And I was wondering if it was temperature, but this actually has some kind of nice effect on it. I wonder sometimes about using the cleaners on the black and really losing the nice black carbon. Well, here are the finished kind of standard, and you know, worked really well. So there we go, all in a day's work. I did get some nice crackle too. I'm really happy with that. I think thinner walled pieces work better for crackle. It's basically, it's just glaze that doesn't fit. And this was a different clay body, interestingly. Comes out with these warmer hues. It was actually a raku clay body, a little more towards the buff than white. I really like the effect I get with the white stoneware better. I get better whites. One thing I learned is when I put these same glazes on red clay, you know, high iron, the whites are really come out as skin tones. Alright, well, time for my bath. Enough for one day. It's the end of a beautiful day here in Sedona. About 6:30 p.m., maybe 6. The rocks are starting to turn.